Success begins in your mind long before it appears in your bank account, your career, your relationships, or your achievements. Every great accomplishment starts as a single thought. Every successful business was once an idea. Every championship was first won in the imagination before it was won on the field. Every invention, every breakthrough, every remarkable life began with someone deciding to think differently. Most people spend their lives trying to change their circumstances without realizing that circumstances are often the result of their habitual thinking. They believe that success is something that happens to lucky people, talented people, or people born into the right families. They wait for opportunities, better conditions, more confidence, or the perfect time. But the truth is that success is created from the inside out. Your outer world is usually a reflection of your inner world. If you change the way you think, you begin to change the way you act. When your actions change, your habits improve. Better habits produce better results. Better results create a better life. Everything begins with the quality of your thinking. Imagine two people standing at the exact same starting line. They have similar education, similar resources, similar opportunities, and similar abilities. 10 years later, one is living a life of confidence, financial freedom, and fulfillment, while the other is frustrated, discouraged, and wondering what went wrong. What made the difference? In many cases, it wasn't talent, it wasn't intelligence, it wasn't luck, it was mindset. One person believed that every problem contained an opportunity. The other believed every opportunity contained a problem. One saw obstacles as temporary challenges. The other saw them as permanent barriers. One focused on solutions. The other focused on excuses. The difference in their thinking gradually created a difference in their lives. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you consistently plant there will eventually grow. Plant thoughts of confidence, discipline, gratitude, persistence, and possibility, and those thoughts will produce actions that move you towards success. Plant doubt, fear, resentment, procrastination, and negativity, and those thoughts will produce behaviors that keep you exactly where you are. The most powerful conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are constantly talking to yourself. You tell yourself what you can do. You tell yourself what you deserve. You tell yourself whether you are capable or incapable. These internal conversations become your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your reality. Think about how often people say things like, "I'm just not good enough. I'll probably fail. People like me never become successful. It's too late." Those words may seem harmless, but they become instructions to the subconscious mind. Eventually, your actions begin to match those beliefs. Now imagine replacing those thoughts with different ones. Imagine saying, "I can learn anything I need to learn. Every challenge makes me stronger. I am becoming more disciplined every day. Success is possible for me." These are not empty words if they are followed by action. They are seeds that grow into confidence. Confidence is not something you are born with. Confidence is something you build. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you complete a difficult task, instead of avoiding it, your confidence grows. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, your confidence grows stronger. Many people wait to feel confident before they take action. But successful people understand the opposite. Action creates confidence. The more you act despite fear, the less power fear has over you. Fear is one of the greatest enemies of success because it exists almost entirely in the mind. Fear convinces people to stay where they are. Fear whispers that failure will be embarrassing. Fear magnifies risks while minimizing possibilities. Yet, when you examine most fears closely, you discover they are based on imagination rather than reality. Think about every major success story you've ever admired. Behind every success was someone who felt uncertain, someone who doubted themselves, someone who faced criticism, someone who failed repeatedly before succeeding. The difference was not the absence of fear. The difference was the decision to move forward anyway. Your mind can either become your greatest ally or your greatest obstacle. The choice belongs to you. Successful people train their minds with the same discipline that athletes train their bodies. They feed their minds with books, educational content, meaningful conversations, and positive influences. They understand that every piece of information they consume shapes their thinking. If you spend hours every day consuming negativity, complaints, gossip, and endless distractions, don't be surprised when your thinking becomes negative and distracted. But if you consistently feed your mind with ideas that challenge and inspire you, your perspective begins to change. Your future is greatly influenced by what you repeatedly expose your mind to. Guard your mental environment carefully. Protect it as you would protect your most valuable investment, because your mind truly is your greatest asset. One of the biggest limitations people place on themselves is believing that their past determines their future. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've experienced failure. Maybe you've been rejected, criticized, or disappointed. None of those experiences have the power to define your future unless you allow them to define your thinking. Every successful person has a history they had to overcome. Every successful entrepreneur has made bad decisions. Every great leader has experienced setbacks. Every high achiever has encountered moments when quitting seemed easier than continuing. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. Learn from it, but don't live there. Instead, focus your attention on who you are becoming. Your identity is shaped by the decisions you make today, not the mistakes you made yesterday. The quality of your questions also determines the quality of your life. When something goes wrong, many people ask, "Why does this always happen to me?" That question leads the mind toward blame, frustration, and helplessness. Successful people ask different questions. They ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I improve? What's the next best step? What opportunity exists here that I haven't seen yet?" Your mind always searches for answers to the questions you ask. Ask empowering questions, and your mind will begin searching for empowering solutions. There is tremendous power in visualization. Before many great accomplishments become reality, they are first imagined in vivid detail. When you consistently picture yourself achieving your goals, overcoming challenges, speaking confidently, leading effectively, or succeeding in your chosen field, your brain begins preparing you to act in alignment with those images. Visualization is not about wishful thinking. It is mental preparation. It is rehearsing success before it happens, so that when opportunities appear, you respond with confidence instead of hesitation. At the same time, visualization must always be paired with disciplined action. Dreams without action remain fantasies. But dreams supported by daily effort become achievable goals. Discipline itself begins in the mind. Before you wake up early, you first decide mentally that your goals matter more than temporary comfort. Before you save money, you first believe your future is worth investing in. Before you exercise consistently, you first decide your health deserves daily attention. Every act of discipline begins with a decision. Every decision begins with a thought. Many people overestimate what they can accomplish in one day, but underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years of consistent effort. Success is rarely the result of one dramatic breakthrough. It is usually the accumulation of thousands of small decisions made correctly over time. A single positive thought won't transform your life overnight, but thousands of positive, disciplined thoughts combined with consistent action absolutely can. Imagine improving by just 1% every day. One better decision, one more chapter read, one more sales call made, one healthier meal, one more workout completed, one more act of courage. Those small improvements compound into extraordinary results. The world often celebrates the visible rewards of success. while overlooking the invisible preparation. People admire the finished building but forget the months of planning beneath the surface. They applaud the successful speaker but ignore the years spent practicing. They admire financial success without seeing the countless disciplined decisions made behind closed doors. Everything visible begins invisibly. Success begins in your thoughts long before it appears in your results. Another important truth is that your beliefs determine your standards. If you believe you deserve excellence, you'll naturally refuse to accept mediocrity from yourself. You'll arrive prepared, you'll finish what you start, you'll continue learning, you'll hold yourself accountable. But if your standards are low, your results will eventually match those standards. Dressage your standards by raising your expectations of yourself. Expect honesty from yourself. Expect discipline. Expect persistence. Expect growth. Expect continuous improvement. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. Every day becomes an opportunity to become slightly wiser, stronger, more skilled, and more focused. Gratitude is another mindset that transforms success. It may seem unrelated to achievement, but gratitude changes your perspective. Instead of focusing on what's missing, you begin recognizing what's already available. Gratitude creates optimism. Optimism fuels action. Action creates results. People who appreciate opportunities are more likely to notice new opportunities. People who focus only on limitations often overlook possibilities that are right in front of them. Your attitude determines how you interpret events. Two people can experience the exact same setback. One sees disaster. The other sees a lesson. One quits, the other adapts. The event remains the same. The mindset creates the difference. This is why resilience is ultimately mental. It is the decision to continue despite disappointment. It is believing that temporary defeat is not permanent failure. Success does not belong to the person who never falls. Success belongs to the person who keeps getting back up. There will be days when progress feels slow, days when motivation disappears, days when results seem invisible. Those are the moments when mindset matters most. Anyone can stay committed when everything is easy. Champions stay committed when nothing seems to be working. Remember that bamboo spends years developing its roots underground before visible growth appears. Many successful careers follow the same pattern. The preparation often remains invisible until one day everyone notices the results. Trust the process even when progress cannot yet be seen. Protect your dreams from unnecessary negativity. Not everyone will understand your vision. Some people will project their own fears onto your ambitions. Others may doubt you because they have stopped believing in themselves. Listen respectfully, but don't allow someone else's limited thinking to become your limitation. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth, challenge your excuses, celebrate your progress, and inspire your potential. The people around you influence your thinking more than you may realize. If you're the most ambitious person in every room you enter, it's time to find bigger rooms. Never stop learning. The moment you believe you know everything is the moment your growth begins to slow. Stay curious, read daily, ask questions, develop new skills, study successful people, observe how they think, communicate, solve problems, and make decisions. Knowledge expands the mind. An expanded mind creates expanded possibilities. One powerful habit is beginning every morning with intentional thoughts instead of random distractions. Before checking messages or social media, spend a few moments reminding yourself of your goals. Think about the kind of person you want to become. Review your priorities. Visualize your success. Decide that regardless of what challenges arise today, you will respond with patience, confidence, and determination. How you begin your day often influences how you finish it. Likewise, end each day by reflecting honestly. Ask yourself what went well, what could improve, what lesson did you learn, what action will you take tomorrow. Small daily reflection leads to continuous improvement. The greatest competition you will ever face is not another person. It is the battle between the disciplined version of yourself and the distracted version of yourself. Between the courageous voice that urges you to move forward and the fearful voice that tells you to stay comfortable. Every day you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. Every decision strengthens one version of yourself while weakening the other. Choose thoughts that empower you. Choose actions that support your goals. Choose habits that create your future. The remarkable truth is that you do not need to become someone completely different to achieve extraordinary success. You simply need to think differently, decide differently, and act differently, consistently enough for those actions to become your character. Your life changes the moment your thinking changes. The opportunities you notice change. The relationships you build change. The goals you pursue change. The confidence you feel changes. Eventually, the results everyone else sees begin to change as well. Never underestimate the incredible power contained within your own mind. It has the ability to solve problems that seem impossible today. It has the capacity to learn skills you don't yet possess. It can develop courage where fear once existed. It can transform failure into wisdom and dreams into achievements. The future you desire is not created by chance. It is created by intention. It is created by disciplined thinking, followed by disciplined action. Every remarkable life is built one thought, one decision, one habit, and one day at a time. So starting today, become the guardian of your thoughts. Refuse to entertain beliefs that weaken your confidence. Refuse to accept excuses that keep you small. Fill your mind with possibility, purpose, discipline, and determination. See yourself as a person capable of learning, growing, adapting, and overcoming. Then prove that belief through consistent action every single day. Because the greatest victories are always won twice, first in the mind and then in the world. There is another truth that separates high achievers from everyone else. They take complete responsibility for their lives. They do not spend years blaming their upbringing, the economy, difficult bosses, unfair competitors, or circumstances beyond their control. They understand that while they cannot control everything that happens to them, they can always control how they respond. The moment you accept responsibility for your future is the moment you begin taking back your power. Responsibility is not a burden, it is freedom. It means your future is no longer determined by chance. It is determined by your choices. When you develop this mindset, excuses begin to disappear. Instead of saying, I don't have enough time, you begin asking, how can I use my time more effectively? Instead of saying, I don't know enough, you ask, where can I learn? Instead of saying, nobody is giving me an opportunity, you begin creating opportunities. This subtle shift in thinking transforms ordinary people into extraordinary performers because they stop waiting for permission to succeed. The world rewards those who solve problems. Every successful entrepreneur, executive, artist, scientist, athlete, or leader has learned to see problems differently. While others complain about difficulties, they search for solutions. Every problem contains within it the seed of an equal or greater opportunity, but only those with the right mindset are prepared to recognize it. The larger the problem you learn to solve, the greater your value becomes. Ask yourself every morning, what problem can I solve today? This question directs your mind toward contribution rather than consumption. Success follows those who make life better for other people. Businesses grow because they solve problems. Careers advance because individuals solve problems. Leaders emerge because they solve problems that others avoid. Your thinking also determines the level of risk you are willing to accept. Many people avoid taking action because they fear making mistakes. Yet mistakes are not the opposite of success. They are part of success. Every expert was once a beginner. Every master was once inexperienced. Every accomplished professional has a collection of failures that became lessons. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. No child expects perfection on the first attempt. Falling is accepted as part of the learning process. Yet somewhere along the way, adults begin expecting themselves to succeed immediately. When they encounter difficulty, they assume they lack talent rather than recognizing they are simply gaining experience. This spine the fear of failure with the desire to improve. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" begin asking, "What will I learn?" That single question changes everything. Suddenly, every setback becomes valuable. Every disappointment becomes education. Every obstacle becomes preparation for something greater. One of the greatest powers of the human mind is its ability to adapt. You are not limited by your current skills because skills can be learned. You are not limited by your current knowledge because knowledge can be acquired. You are not limited by your current circumstances because circumstances can change. The only real limitation is the belief that you cannot grow. Growth begins the moment you become comfortable being uncomfortable. Comfort feels pleasant, but growth lives beyond it. Every meaningful achievement requires entering unfamiliar territory. The first presentation feels uncomfortable. The first business venture feels uncertain. The first investment feels risky. The first leadership role feels intimidating. Yet every time you expand beyond your comfort zone, your confidence expands with it. Think about all the things you do effortlessly today that once seemed difficult. Reading, driving, using technology, communicating with strangers, managing responsibilities, these abilities were developed through repetition. What seems impossible now may become second nature a year from today if you are willing to practice consistently. Your mind is constantly creating habits, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Every repeated thought strengthens a mental pathway. Every repeated action strengthens a behavioral pattern. If you repeatedly think positive, disciplined thoughts, they become automatic. If you repeatedly procrastinate, complain, or doubt yourself, those behaviors also become automatic. This is why daily routines matter so much. Success is rarely determined by what you do occasionally. It is determined by what you do consistently. Small daily disciplines eventually create extraordinary results because consistency compounds over time. Consider the person who reads 20 pages of a quality book every day. It may not seem significant today. After 1 week, the difference appears small. After 1 month, the improvement is noticeable. After 5 years, that person has consumed thousands of pages of valuable knowledge, while others have spent the same time scrolling endlessly through distractions. The gap becomes enormous, not because of one dramatic decision, but because of thousands of small ones. The same principle applies to physical health, finances, relationships, communication skills, and professional development. Tiny improvements repeated consistently become life-changing transformations. Your emotional state is also influenced by your thinking. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can learn to manage what happens within you. Successful individuals develop emotional discipline. They refuse to allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent decisions. There will be moments when you feel discouraged. There will be days when motivation disappears. On those days, disciplined thinking becomes even more important. Instead of asking yourself whether you feel like taking action, remind yourself why the action matters. Purpose is stronger than emotion when it is clearly defined. The people who achieve lasting success understand that motivation comes and goes, but commitment remains. They build systems that keep them moving even when enthusiasm fades. They rely on habits instead of feelings. They trust discipline more than emotion. Your goals should excite you enough to pull you forward even during difficult seasons. A goal without emotional meaning rarely survives life's inevitable challenges. Know exactly why your goals matter. If your purpose is strong enough, your determination becomes stronger than temporary discomfort. One of the most effective mental exercises is imagining your future self. Picture yourself 5 years from now. Imagine the confidence you have developed. Imagine the knowledge you possess. Imagine the people you help. Imagine the financial stability you enjoy. Imagine the physical health, emotional resilience, and professional excellence you have achieved. Now, ask yourself a powerful question. What would that future version of me do today? Would that person waste hours complaining? Would that person postpone important work? Would that person allow fear to control every decision? Or would that person make the difficult phone call, study the extra hour, exercise despite fatigue, and remain focused despite distractions? Each day, you have the opportunity to become a little more like the person you want to become. Your future identity is shaped by today's decisions. Many people underestimate the influence of language. The words you use influence your emotions and your beliefs. Instead of saying, "I have to," begin saying, "I get to." Instead of saying, "This is impossible," say, "This is challenging, but I can figure it out." Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," say, "I'm still learning." These changes may appear insignificant, but language directs attention. Your brain responds differently to empowering language than to limiting language. Successful people are careful with their words because they understand that words influence actions and actions influence outcomes. Patience is another characteristic that begins in the mind. We live in a world that celebrates instant gratification. People want immediate success, immediate wealth, immediate recognition, and immediate results. Yet nature teaches us a different lesson. Trees do not grow overnight. Strong relationships are not built in a day. Mastery takes years. Lasting success requires time. When you understand this principle, you stop becoming discouraged by slow progress. You realize that every meaningful accomplishment follows a process. Instead of demanding immediate rewards, you commit yourself to daily excellence, trusting that the results will eventually appear. The remarkable thing about persistence is that it often appears ordinary while it is happening. Day after day, the work feels repetitive. Improvement seems small. Progress feels invisible. Then one day people look at your achievements and call you lucky. They see the destination but never witnessed the journey. Do not become discouraged because your progress is invisible to others. Roots grow silently beneath the surface long before branches reach toward the sky. Another powerful principle is learning to separate facts from assumptions. Your mind often creates stories that have no basis in reality. Someone doesn't return your message immediately and your mind assumes rejection. A project becomes difficult and your mind predicts failure. You encounter one obstacle and suddenly your imagination creates 10 more that don't even exist. Train yourself to ask, is this fact or is this simply my interpretation? This habit protects you from unnecessary fear and keeps your thinking grounded in reality rather than imagination. Optimism is not pretending problems do not exist. Genuine optimism is believing that solutions exist and that you are capable of finding them. It is confidence in your ability to adapt rather than confidence that nothing will ever go wrong. The strongest people are not those who avoid adversity. They are those who develop the mindset that every challenge can make them stronger, wiser, and more capable. Generosity also contributes to success in surprising ways. People with abundant mindsets believe there is enough opportunity for everyone. They share knowledge, they encourage others, they celebrate the achievements of their peers instead of feeling threatened by them. Scarcity thinking says, if someone else succeeds, there is less success available for me. Abundance thinking says, their success proves that success is possible. Which mindset do you think creates stronger relationships, better networks, and more opportunities over a lifetime? Never underestimate the value of integrity. Success achieved without integrity is temporary. Character begins in your thoughts long before it appears in your actions. Every honest decision strengthens your character. Every promise you keep strengthens your reputation. Trust is earned one decision at a time, and trust opens doors that talent alone cannot. People may forget your accomplishments, but they rarely forget how you made them feel. They remember reliability, they remember honesty, they remember consistency. These qualities begin with disciplined thinking about who you choose to become each day. Success is also closely connected to focus. The human mind has incredible power when concentrated on a meaningful objective. Unfortunately, many people divide their attention among countless distractions. They start projects but never finish them. They chase every new opportunity without mastering any. Imagine sunlight spread across a field. It provides warmth. Now imagine that same sunlight focused through a magnifying glass. Suddenly it becomes powerful enough to ignite fire. Your mind works the same way. Concentrated attention produces extraordinary results. Learn to eliminate activities that do not move you closer to your goals. Every hour invested in meaningful work compounds. Every hour wasted is an opportunity that cannot be recovered. Remember that saying no is often more important than saying yes. Every commitment requires time, energy, and attention. Protect these resources carefully. The most successful individuals are not necessarily those who do more things. They are often those who do fewer things with greater excellence. The quality of your environment matters because environments shape behavior. If you surround yourself with disorder, distraction, and negativity, maintaining focus becomes more difficult. If you create an environment that supports learning, productivity, and personal growth, success becomes easier. Organize your workspace, organize your schedule, organize your priorities. Mental clarity often begins with physical order. Never stop asking yourself, what is the highest and best use of my time right now? That single question keeps your attention aligned with your goals instead of your impulses. Remember that every successful person you admire once faced uncertainty. They experienced self-doubt. They questioned their abilities. They encountered criticism. They faced rejection. The difference is that they refused to allow temporary uncertainty to become permanent surrender. Every morning presents a new opportunity to strengthen your mindset. Every decision becomes another vote for the person you are becoming. Every challenge becomes another chance to prove to yourself that your determination is greater than your excuses. Every disciplined action reinforces the belief that you are capable of creating a remarkable future through the power of focused thought and consistent action. The life you envision is not reserved for a fortunate few. It is built day by day by those who choose to master their minds before they attempt to master the world, and who understand that every extraordinary achievement first exists as a clear vision held with unwavering conviction before it becomes visible reality through persistent, purposeful effort.